Hey, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you. Maybe this will be the last episode done in version 10. I think by the time this one is released, version 11 will have been out for 2 weeks, which might be enough time for any of the mods. I think we have 4 we use in this thing. Maybe all those will be working. So let's get right to it. As you can see, we are still actually in version 10, version 10, build 291. I bet you I even have, and yep, I didn't even clear from the last one. This is a back-to-back episode. So if you've left any comments, either in Discord or in the video, I can't address them here because I haven't seen them yet. But we're going to forge forward. So we're going to grab our template. And we're going to go ahead and create a macro, make sure it's in the fundamentals folder, and we're going to call this 12C. Oops, didn't mean to hit F12. There we go. 12C, and we will call this, what am I going to do? This is going to have 3 things, I think. It'll be Truthy, Truthy, because I'm hoping we get through all these. FALS, I think it's FLSY, and NULLISH. I'm not going to do colecity, no, I can't even think of null. Now I got to look at my notes. The nullish coalescing operator. Yes, we're just going to call him nullish though. And Falsy, I believe that's correct. FALSY. All right, so here we go. We have that. I'm going to go ahead and put a bunch of carriage returns in here. And let's go ahead and start jumping in. Once again, we have a whole lot of stuff to go over. So I'm going to do a whole lot of copying and pasting just so I don't have to type it out, which will take like, it'll turn like what could be like a 30-ish minute episode into over an hour. So first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to declare a function that will tell us whether a value is true or false, or in this case, truthy or falsy, because certain values, and I believe we went over this, we just kind of glazed over it when we were first doing all our operators and stuff like that. So as you can see here, we have a function called Falsy test. It is getting a parameter called val. We're going to check if val, if it's true, it will go ahead and output that val is a truthy, or if it's not, val is a falsy, because JavaScript has a set thing. So this is just going to be kind of the proof. Proof is in the pudding part type of thing. So we're going to go and paste this here, and these are our types of values. So we've gone over all different types of values when we first started this, and I think I kind of glazed over this. So here you can see we have falsy values, and this will actually verify, because maybe I should have called it falsy test. I don't know. We'll leave falsy test. That's fine. So falsy values, as you can see, are null, undefined, false. I'm not sure why I put true there. This is false, which is a Boolean. So it does need to be a lowercase, not uppercase. Did I do the wrong one on that one? I did. I should call this true like so. It's kind of a pain. Python uses uppercase for true and false. JavaScript uses lowercase for true and false. Not a number, or NaN. 0. -0, which really should never come up because it's really not a thing. And an empty string. And it doesn't matter whether it's the little ticks like this, the angled ticks, I don't know what they call those, double quotes or single quotes. All those are considered falsy values. Then we have our truthy values, which are all values that are not falsy. So there could even be more than this, but if it's not a falsy, obviously it's a truthy. So true, obviously. Any positive integer or any negative integer, any positive or negative float. I guess technically you could say 0.0. We could try that. I'm pretty sure it's going to say it's maybe negative 0.0. I don't know. We'll try both of them. Why not? So 0.0, and this could actually just error out or something. I don't know. So yeah, any positive or negative value, any string with something in it. So here we just have a space in it, but it could be anything, at least with something in it. An empty array is actually considered truthy. An empty object is considered truthy. And like I said, anything that is not falsy is considered truthy. Now let's see if we error out on this or not. Oh, we didn't. So technically it just converted the 0.0 and the negative 0.0 to 0. So if I stuck any value on there, it would actually be a truthy. But here you can see true is truthy, 1 is truthy, negative 1 is truthy, 1.1 is truthy, negative 1.1 is truthy, blank, nothing is truthy, or space, I don't know how to do that, whereas no space, just an empty value, is falsy. And then of course we have our array and our object. Biggest thing to remember, anything that is not falsy, because we actually have a nice list of what is falsy, is truthy. So I might have missed some things. Sets, maps, those are probably all, if I would have tested those as well, would actually be truthy. I'm not 100% sure if I could do falsy test, and we could try it. Falsy test, and I think we would just have to do new and do set, maybe. I don't know if it's uppercase, I can't remember. New set, and then the same thing with map. This is just experimenting. This is just realizing that I didn't have them in there when I did this. This would be map, I think. I can't remember if they're uppercase. I kind of feel like they are, but the fact that that didn't change tells me it might be. Nope. Map. You know what? I'm not even gonna. Let's just say anything that's not falsy is truthy. So my guess is if you created an empty set or an empty map, they're also going to be truthy. All right. So having said that, we can use our truthy and falsy with the ternary operator, which is basically an if function in a single line. If you remember, what we do is we have our condition, then we have a colon. No, we have a question mark first, and then we would have our true value, and then and then our false value, like so. So that is the ternary operator. We definitely went over that before, so I'm not going to go into great detail, but I am going to go ahead and copy this next chunk that I have. And I don't think this is going to space that right. Nope. All right, so here we can see, and hopefully you can see these. I was experimenting with other ones that I like that actually has this be a nicer color, but I haven't found one that works with this editor, or the ACElib. So anyway, we have truthy and falsy used with the ternary operator. So here we have a PC, right? It's an object, and it simply has a name and a race. So if level returns falsy, then level will be set to 1. So as you can see here, we're saying let my character PC level. So if PC level is a truthy or falsy, we will actually get some. So here we're saying If PC level exists in here, which it does not, then we want to, that would be false. So we set it to 1. If PC level did exist in our object, then it would actually output that value for PC level. So now we can see here, if we console log our PC name, we could say name Tezrian, and we would get our value of is level and whatever level, you know, they are, or a 1 if they don't have a level. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and run this, and we'll see it in action. So here you can see Tezrian is level 1 because that does not exist. Now in our next example here, we're actually adding a PC level or a level to our PC object. So now there actually is a level parameter or property inside our object, right? I really get confused all the time. Parameter, property, arguments, all these different names. You know, is it a method? Is it a function? Which are technically the same thing. Unless it's inside the object, then it's considered a method. If it's just outside here, it's considered a function. Even though inside the object, when we declare a function, we use the word function. I don't know, it's just weird. So anyway, we're going to do the exact same check again here. And you'll see this time it output that it is level 3. So you can use this as a way to actually check if something exists without erroring out. Because if I actually tried doing this without it, we would get undefined, which looks really bad, you know, as an output on a character sheet to say undefined. So let's talk about 3 properties, because now we're kind of getting into, I believe this is short circuiting. So that's pretty much the Truthy Falsy stuff. But Truthy and Falsy actually works really good with short circuiting, which I believe we also went over. Like I said, this one, I should probably even put short circuiting up there, but I'm not going to. This one basically is kind of a recap or a refresher of something we did a long time ago. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this chunk of code in here, and then we're going to go over it. So as you can see here, it says Truthy and Falsy. That was the wrong one. Hold on. That was the one we just barely did. Doop, doop. Sorry. It must have still been on my clipboard. Let's see, is this where it is? Yes, here we go. Here we go. All right, so here we can see, this is using short circuiting. Where did I thought I had more, did I delete it on accident? Control Z. I did actually. I think I did. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't actually paste right. Okay, this is actually the next chunk of code that we want right here. So I don't want this just yet. Ignore it. Pretend like you didn't see it. V. Okay, so so as you can see here, there are 3 properties of logic operators and or. First one is they can use any data type. They can check any data type. Because of Truthy Falsy, we have every type of data type can have a true or a false value. So they all work with our and or. They can return any data type, and they can do short circuiting, which is called also short circuit evaluation. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to go and clear this out. So here we're going to use the or operator, and it is represented by the 2 pipes right here, the 2 pipes. As long as one value is true, the whole thing is true. Okay, so in this case, console log 20 and elf, this is a number, it's an integer with a value greater than 0. This is a string that is, this is a string that actually is a valid string, right? So both these things are true. In this case, what the short circuiting is going to do, because it's an or, either of these have to be true. So if 20 is true, then it really doesn't care so much if elf and anything beyond that is true. So it will return the 20. So if we output this, and I'm not going to run it just yet, we'll see that it's just going to output 20. In this case here, we have a falsy value, right? Which is it's false. We have ranger, which is a string with something in it. So that's true. We have true, and we have 0, which is false. Well, it's going to return as soon as it hits that first true. It's not even going to evaluate any of the rest of this, because all it cares is one value at a minimum is true. So in this case, we should see 20 and we should see ranger. So let's see if we see that. So there we go. We have 20 and we have ranger, which is exactly what we expect to see. It doesn't care that this is true and it doesn't care that this is false, because with an or statement, only one of them have to be true for the entire thing to be true. All right, so now let's go ahead and do the other one that I pasted that I said, oh, wait, that's not the right one. All right, so here we go. I didn't need the console log. Actually, I need, yeah, that console log was already there. All right, so here in this case, the first example, but now using short circuiting. So now we're going to use it with short circuiting. So we want the PC level, right? In this case, we're going to assign my character the PC level. Now it's going to check PC level, and if PC level doesn't exist, then it would move on to the next one, right? That also would not, that's a falsy value, so it would go to the 5. Well, in this case, I believe we actually have PC level, so we should actually get back the level, right? It's not going to evaluate any of these. So we'll get PC name is level my character. I'm pretty sure we actually, yeah, PC level, no. Yeah, we actually assigned PC level to 3. So if I'm right, we should get back a 3 for my character. In this case, we are setting it, I think I needed to clear PC level somewhere. I did. Did I actually delete it in my example? I do. Okay, good. Okay, that's really good. I wasn't sure if I deleted it. So PC level actually will not exist. So in this case, PC level doesn't exist, so that's a falsy. It's 0 is a falsy. So 5 is the first value. So we expect to say Tezreen is level 5. In this case, then we're setting PC level to 8, right? So it will go my character equals PC level, which is a Truthy, and it will stop right there and say 8. So what we're doing is basically short-circuiting the rest of the stuff. It doesn't even have to evaluate it, because we have our true value, and that's all we need is a single true value. So like I said, if this works the way I just explained it, we should see 5 and 8. Please work the way I explained it. And there we go. Tezreen is level 5. Tezreen is level 8. So that is short-circuiting with the OR, right? Let's go ahead and now look at the AND. So I need to copy this. We're at 19 minutes. I think we're doing pretty good. My voice isn't doing pretty good, but I think we are. So the AND operator, which is 2 AND symbols, is true as long as all the values are true. So this is kind of going to do the opposite. As you can see here, it says with the AND operator, it will return the first falsy value it finds. If there is no falsy values, it returns the last truthy. So in this case, we have true, we have and 0, which is a falsy, and we have elf. So in this case, because it has an falsy, because true and false and true is not true. True, true, true would be true. So what it's going to return is this true. In this case, it's going to say true and 20 and elf. It's going to, or actually, hold on, did I read that right? There is no falsy. It returns the last truthy. So in this case, it will output elf because it will be the very last truthy value. Man, that whole truthy, it's a tongue twister. So here we have an example also. So I'm just going to go over all of it because it's going to output it. But here we have an example of PC arrows. So we're assigning our object a value arrows equals 20. And we're also giving it a PC weapon, a short bow, right? We're giving it a string short bow. And we're giving it PC range 10. So we're giving it all these values. And what we can do here is we're saying my character, if there is a range, which it has a range, if our object PC has arrows, so if this was 0, it would end up not ever saying fire away because we don't have arrows. Or if we don't have the range, we won't have arrows, right? Or we won't have the range, so it won't say fire away. Our PC weapon, we have a value there. So these are all true. Therefore, fire away in this case will be returned. And the reason I have fire away is because that's what's going to be returned. This string fire away will be assigned to here. So once again, let's just say what we're expecting. In this first one here, we are expecting true to be returned because we have the falsy value. So it's going to do, or wait, when it will return the first falsy value it finds. So it's going to actually return 0. But where everything's true, it's going to return our last. So we're expecting to see 0 and elf. And down here, we're expecting to see fire away because all these are true. And that's true. This is what's going to be returned. So let's go ahead and run it and see if we're right. Oh, that's not the run. This one's the run. So there we go. We have the 0, which we expected. There's the 0. We have elf, which is also expected. It was our last truthy value out of everything that's true. And then finally, we have fire away because we do have range, we do have arrows, we do have the PC weapon. Now, if I don't have arrows, if this is a 0, and this isn't a great example, by the way, you would definitely want much more code to kind of explain why this is that way. But let's say we have 0 arrows. What we're expecting to see is it to return 0. It's not going to say anything about arrows. It's just going to be a 0. So let's go ahead and execute the macro. And there you go. We got exactly what we expected. No arrows, no fire, right? No bow, no fire. So basically, if we don't have fire away, then we know we had some kind of error. We can do some troubleshooting to figure out what that was. All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about in this is the nullish coalescing operator. And the nullish coalescing operator is something that makes it so that even if we have a 0 value, it can still be considered truthy. So we're going to go ahead in here. I'm going to paste in this guy and we'll explain it as we go. So the nullish coalescing operator, which is a double question mark, will, in this case, level exists, but it's a falsy value because it's 0, right? So we're saying here's our thing, and we have level is 0. And if we run this, we'll actually return 0 because it's a falsy value, right? PC level, and this is OR. We should only return our true. So in this case, PC level being 0 is considered falsy, so this will not pass. So it'll go to here, and it will return 3. even though, let's say we have a level 0 character, it's going to set it to 3. With the nullish coalescing operator, even though we have a PC level 0, you're doing the exact same thing, we're going to see that this is no longer considered a falsy value. It's actually considered a truthy value. And so right here, we'll actually see that 0 will be output as a valid value. So if we're ever expecting to have an empty string or a 0 value, I think it's an empty string. Is that what I do down here? No, we're deleting it. We can actually, I thought I had more notes, but I don't have it. But I believe it also works with an empty string. I'll have to double check that. Actually, we could probably, let's do this and do, I don't know why I don't have that in here. pc.test, and we'll just do that as an equals an empty string, because I could swear it also did empty strings. And then what we can do is, well, let's just take this guy right here and do this right there, and we'll just do our test for test. And we'll see if that returns back our empty string, which will be really hard to tell because it's an empty string. But that's okay. All right, so as you can see here, we're deleting the PC level. So it no longer exists in our PC. We're getting rid of level. So even with the nullish coalescing operator, when we run it, this will be false or a falsy value because it doesn't exist. It is our undefined, as we can see right here. Undefined is falsy. And so it will go ahead and give us the 5. In this case, I'm expecting it to also, let's give us, let's do not string 5. Let's just say no value. No, I don't know. Test. I'll just call it test. Sure, why not? So in this case, if I'm right and it actually works with empty strings being a truthy, then we should see just nothing. We should see PC name level is, maybe I'll say test is, because I cannot for the life of me remember, and I didn't put it in my notes for whatever reason. So let's go ahead and clear this and we'll run it, and there we go. So as you can see, yes, the space actually is still considered a truthy because this is technically a falsy, but with the nullish coalescing operator, it actually shows up that there is a blank value there. So let's go through this and see if everything worked as we expected. So here we're just doing it with the OR. So because we're just doing it with the OR, this is a falsy, and we're checking it with the OR. So PC level is 0, which is falsy, or a truthy, so it's going to return the truthy. In this case, with the nullish coalescing operator, nullish values become null and undefined. So if those are the values, they're actually considered falsy, right? So in this case, we have our PC, which is 0, and we're saying, so this one right here is a truthy for a nullish coalescing operator, and 5 is a truthy, so it's going to return the first truthy, which is our 0. And then of course here we're going to delete it, so now it's undefined. So when we look and do our thing, we're saying this is undefined, which even with the nullish coalescing operator is considered a falsy, and therefore the 5 is the first truthy, and that is returned. And then our final one was our little test. Man, my voice is about to give out. Our final test here is that a blank, which is normally a falsy, as we look up here because we can't see it, is a Falsy. But with the nullish coalescing operator, it is actually a Truthy. Therefore, we do not get the test because this is our first Truthy, and it outputs that. Whew. Okay, there we go. I know these last 3 videos have been pretty darn confusing. I've tried to explain them to the best of my ability. As always, if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to ping me through comments here or on my Discord if you want a quicker answer and more of an interactive session with me. But yeah, this will do. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned something new. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Follow, click the little notification bell. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. Don't forget to tell other people about my channel. Check it out. If they like what they see, they can sub. If not, they don't sub. No, it's win-win. And that's it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.